All right. Number 26. No mathematical proposition can be proven true by observation. Dun dun dun. It follows that it is impossible to know any mathematical proposition to be true. All right, so it's only two sentences, so it's a little bit tricky sometimes to pick our conclusion, but thankfully we have like, hey, this follows from what was said previously. And so our conclusion is going to be, it is impossible to know any mathematical proposition to be true. And then our support for that is just the first sentence, obviously, and it says no mathematical proposition can be proven true by observation. So since mathematical propositions since none of them can be proven true by observation, we're then trying to make this jump that it's impossible to know any proposition to be true. Well, this is a sufficient assumption question. So we have if and assumed, and I need to somehow close this gap between the fact that none can be proven by observation and that it's impossible to prove any. And so my guess here is going to be that, like, if we can't prove something by observation, then it's impossible to find out. Because if we said that, we would be covering all of our bases. So A says only propositions that can be proven true can be known to be true. Well, okay, cool. So only propositions that can be proven can be known, but do we even know that this can be true? No, so that's not helping us connect our premise to our conclusion at all. B, observations alone cannot be used to prove the truth of any proposition. Well, okay, cool. So even if observation alone cannot prove the truth of any proposition, that doesn't mean that something else is not able to prove the truth. And so that's not what we're looking for. See, if a proposition can be proven true by observation, then it can be known to be true. I mean, cool. This is a conditional, and we're saying like, hey, if it could be proven true by observation, then it could be known. But our stimulus is already telling us that no mathematical proposition can be proven true by observation. So this is irrelevant because we don't even have that sufficient trigger here in our stimulus. So it's not C. D, knowing a proposition to be true is impossible only if it cannot be proven true by observation. So only if introduces our necessary condition. So our necessary is it cannot be proven true by observation. So I'm going to cross that off. And then knowing a proposition to be true is impossible. So know to be known to be true. Let's do this. I'm just going to put a cross through it. So that means that we're saying if you can't know it to be true, then you can't do it by observation. This actually looks like it's going to be backwards, because if we flip this, it's going to say that if you can observe something by observation, then you know it can be proven true. Well, in our condition, or in our stimulus up above, we have that there is no observation. And so no observation, well, we don't go anywhere from here. So that doesn't help us get to our conclusion at all, because we're like, okay, we're just hanging out. The no observation in D is the necessary, and we need the no observation to be in the sufficient. So D is going to be wrong. And then finally, we're going to go ahead and do E. Knowing a proposition to be true requires proving it to be by observation. And so this is different than the previous one, because this is saying, so if we know the proposition to be true, then it must be able to be observed by observation. And so the contrapositive of this is that if we can't observe it by observation, then we can't know it to be true, which is exactly what I predicted. And it helps us go from this, what happens if we have no observation? No observation, it means that we cannot know it to be true. And so that is why for 26, E is going to be our answer.